You guys, so start off season preview. I'll start with the Cardinals. It's not a power ranking thing. It's I'm just kind of don't do it in alphabetical order. So obviously Cardinals will be first. First, let's start off with coaching. So head coach, you obviously got Jonathan Gannon, second year, came from the Eagles as their defensive coordinator. It's kind of hard to judge him because for most of the year he didn't have Kyler Murray and he had Josh Dobbs, but no offense to Dobbs, but he's not that great of a quarterback. There's a reason why he's now the Niners backup and he only started a few games for the Vikings, but he should be. He should have Kyler all year. Make some improvements in the team. We'll see how he does. Got Drew Petzing at LC, former Browns quarterback coach. I mean, he's kind of. Dobbs showed some flashes with them. Didn't do great, but it's kind of hard because, same thing. They didn't have Murray for most of the year. If they had Murray, this team would have been a lot better all year. But we'll see. DC, he did all right, but their defense has a few good guys and great, really pretty good safety in Buda Baker. But outside of that, they don't have much in defense. They try to add some more, but not so great. So that's for coaching. Let's start with the depth chart. So obviously, starting off quarterback, they got Kyler Murray. He's our starter, no question asked. Hopefully, he can bounce back. He looked all right for a few games he played last year, but he played how many? So he played 8 games, 1,800 yards in 8 games isn't great, but it's all right. He had a decent rating, yeah. You and then backup. Yeah, it doesn't matter. He's not a great starter, but hey, he's not going to be their starter unless Kyler gets injured again, which obviously I hope he doesn't. But I don't like the trade they did because he's your backup quarterback. You lost Marquise Brown, your top wide out, so you're trading your second best from last year, Rondé Moore, for a backup quarterback when Rondé Moore is still young. I just don't think that makes sense. So yeah, Clayton Tune, he's their third string. Probably won't make the roster because most teams don't have carry three quarterbacks, especially now that you can just have emergency one. You can put them on the practice squad, call them. You can just have your emergency backup. You can tune, and it has them in your squad, and don't use our roster spot every game during game day or during season. Running backs, got James Conner. He's had some good years. He's had some down years. He's in his 30. He's almost 30. That's pretty old for a running back. He did have 1,000 yards last season, so we'll see. I also got to figure better quarterback play, so free up Connor, especially with Murray at quarterback because he's a good one of the top dual threat quarterbacks in the league. Then you got Trey Benson. He's their backup running back. If Connor has a bad year, I feel like Benson they can put him in. Well, won't be as much a huge downgrade, but still a little bit. I think he could be a good running back, and then you can have Benson sit for a bit, develop him, cut Connor next year for some cap, and then Benson's your new running back on cheap. And then got Amari Demercado. He had a couple good games, but he didn't do a ton. He's a third string. He's hopefully never don't play. Get the Michael Carter. I think that's a former Jets running back, if I'm right. Yep. Okay. That's what I thought. I thought he was former Giants. He's a good. I'd probably rather have him over Amari just because I feel like Michael Carter has shown more flashes. He could be better than him, but you never know. We'll see. Wide receiver. Obviously, we all know who number one's going to be. Marvin Harrison Jr. He's a top 5 pick for a reason. He should be great, and it's tough because it's a rookie season. Not everybody does great in the rookie year, but he should be good. His dad's a Hall of Famer. And then you got Michael Wilson. he didn't really do much at all last year, but he was also their third wideout behind Marquise Brown and Rondale Moore. So it's most teams don't target their third wideout a lot. But he was a former third pick. He's moving up the depth chart. He should be their second one, and so he should be better, especially with current this their third wide receiver is Greg Dortch. He's all right, but you rather would not have him as your third wideout. You'd rather not have him starting. If he's your bench guy, like a fourth or fifth guy, that's awesome. But third guy, So maybe make a trade. Doubt it because there's not really anybody. Nobody's gonna make any. There's not really anybody else left to sign at this point, unless they want OBJ. But I doubt it because I feel like he would go. I feel like if OBJ wherever he goes. Wait, never mind. I forgot. He signed the Dolphins. Sorry. Then Jay Jones. He's getting up. He's all right. He's a good. I feel like um him and Dortch will be rotating between third and fourth guys. Still rather have neither of them really starting at this point. To Jones has had some years where he's a good starter, but at this point I doubt he's gonna have another one. But we'll see. Chris Moore, he's a depth guy. I doubt he's gonna play much. I feel like between Chris Moore and Jack Pascal at this point, Jack Pascal's gonna play more between the two of them. But we'll see. I just feel like Pascal's better, but neither of them are that good. They're their fifth and sixth guys at this point, so who really cares? Unless you have a lot of injuries, those really suck, obviously. And then you got Tajon Palmer, this 6th-round rookie. He probably won't make the roster, probably be on the practice squad, just because he'll be the 7th guy. Well, some teams do, but not a lot. But he's 24, so that is old for a rookie. Then you got Andre Pacelia. I feel like at this point, most of these guys aren't going to make the roster. And most of the practice guys, squad guys have our receiver. Or they'll make it because they're good special teamers. Like Gentisma, he's not good. He's just a good special teamer. I remember him from his time as a Viking. He spent a couple of years with the Vikings. He never did anything. He's lucky to make the roster. Trey McBride, I feel like him and Harrison will be their top 2 weapons, receiving wise. Because he could have a really good breakout year. That's 800 yards as a tight end most of the year without Kyler. At 81 receptions, that's good for a tight end. Over 10 yards a reception, that's good. I feel like he's not a breakout year as a tight end. He's probably going to be top 10 tight end of the year, I feel like, at least. Elijah Higgins, he was a 6th-round pick last year for a reason. He's not going to play much. Unless McBride gets injured, which if he does, you're kind of screwed because you don't really have anybody at tight end. You got some depth guys and some good blockers. Tip Raymond's really there just because he's a good blocker. Yeah, just hope McBride doesn't get injured, because if he does, you're screwed at tight end. But at least tight end is at the hugest position, so he'll probably be all right. But still, Tip Raymond, he's just a good blocker. Yeah, you never know. Might be a good night out. Travis Wokelek, haven't even heard of this guy before. He looks like he's a rookie and he's 26, so he's probably not to make the roster. Probably won't be practice squad, but you never know. That tackle. Obviously, you hope Paris Johnson has a really good year, 2nd year, 1st-round pick. A lot of offensive linemen take a year or two to develop to be really good. So even if he doesn't have a great year this year, don't count that against him, because most offensive linemen aren't that great right away. It's not like everybody's that good. Not like everybody's like Quentin Nelson or something like that. That's rookie year, Pro Bowl. Yeah, not everybody's like that. Doesn't matter how highly you get drafted. Just obviously hope some get better sooner than later. But yeah, just look at Evan Neal. Evan Neal's still terrible. Andrew Thomas, he took some time to develop. Jackson Barton, he's a depth guy. He's decent depth, not great. You'd rather never have him starting, but he's there. And if an injury happens, he wouldn't be terrible, but he's not great. Austin Pleasance, never. He's probably not going to make the roster because I feel like most teams don't carry more than 10 offensive linemen, or probably around 10, or not even less. You really don't think it'd be 11. So I feel like even the backups of the other positions, they probably make it over him. Even at right tackle, the backup, Kelvin Beachum, he's pretty up there in age. He's mid-30s, but still, he's a good vet. He's been a starter. At this point, you rather not. It's nice having him back up. He's a good backup tackle, but that's why there's a reason they signed Jordan Williams, and he isn't, and Beachum isn't starting anymore. But Jordan Williams, he's struggled. He's had some injury problems, so at least you have Beachum behind him just in case. Got a good replacement. I'd say Adams, early, mid, third round rookie. You'd rather not have him starting already, but you don't have much better options at guard to start. Because, yeah, you don't have much better options right now. So you kind of have to, because even Elijah Wilkinson, he's all right. He's bad. Let's put it honest. It's a good thing it sucks that your left guard position isn't that great either from Buns, but you don't have one at this point. You don't have anybody to replace him, so you can't. You kind of have to go that way. But at least Adams is a rookie, third round pick, so he has some time to develop. He could be a good starter eventually, but I just don't think he's on a good rookie year. Tristan Cullen, Marquise Hayes, one of them might make the roster. Probably at least one of them's practice squad guys because you want to have some depth because offensive lines they get a lot of injuries can happen because they're right in the middle of everything. Hitchalty Frodholt. I doubt I said that last name right, but he's another guy you'd rather not have him starting if you could, but he's our right starter. If he could be your backup, that'd be awesome. But just this team has some good starters. A lot Paris Johnson could be a really good one. Same with Jonah Williams if he can stay healthy. But I feel like if they can get some upgrades, that'd be awesome. And some development from Adams. But I feel like for all the whole, you'd rather not have him starting if you have. Evan Brown, he's another guy. So at least he isn't the one starting over Froholt. Good, but you rather have neither of them starting. Problem is, you're at the point where unless you make a trade, you're kind of stuck at where you are because there's not really much good players left. Because at least not offensive line. Will Hernandez, he's a good starter. You want to replace him get out the guards and between the guards and center, he's your best starter. So if you can get a better center and Adams develop and be good your guy in his second year next year, and have one Hernandez be your weak point in defensive line, that'd be awesome because if your weak point's Will Hernandez and defensive line, that's not terrible. You could get a lot worse. Keith Zemo, he's there. Probably make the team just because he's good depth on defensive line, but he's don't do much. And I already talked about Jonah Williams. They brought him in for a reason. They got rid of who was their old tackle? DJ Humphries. They brought him in to replace him. It's all right. I don't feel like it's a huge upgrade, but it's a little bit okay because Humphries has dealt with injuries a lot lately. Williams has a little bit too, but not as much, and he's younger. And he's a former first-round pick, so Humphries was too, I think. But pedigree always helps because he was first round pick. You never know what happens. Might have a good breakout year, especially because this is drafted in 2019, so he's relatively young. Beecham, he's old. He's your backup tackle. That's good. Like backup tackle, I feel like that's really good. But he's not going to be here much longer. Christian Jones probably won't make the roster. Could just because he was a veteran pick from this last year, so that always helps you. For sure, practice squad guy if he doesn't make the roster. John Gaines, the second, he's all right. He was. Come on. Sorry, guys. My internet is failing me. There we go. So he was a fourth round pick last year, so he probably make the rosters between. I feel like he'd probably make the roster Evan Brown if he is, because I feel like they wouldn't carry threes. I feel like they wouldn't carry both of them, so I feel like if he does make the roster, Evan Brown probably doesn't make the roster. Just saying. Dennis Daly, he's a deaf guy. He's getting up there. He probably won't make the roster just because he got some younger guys, and obviously at this point, if it's a choice between older and younger, you'd rather have the young developmental guy, just because the Daly's not going to get any better. Carter O'Donnell, he's not going to make the roster. And time for their defense. Edge, they got Zayvon Collins. He's a first round pick. He could be really good. He could be good. He's not. It can be bad too. But just good. He did just get extended to a new 2-year deal. So he's gonna be here for at least 3 more years because he still has 1 year left on his rookie deal. So he's there. You can get better, but it could be a lot worse because they did not have much depth in the defensive line. So yeah, got Xavier Thomas. He's. You rather not have him as your backup because I feel like you can get a lot better as a backup. But he's also he was used to be pretty high pedigree. I feel like it wasn't that long ago where a lot of people were a lot higher on him than a 5th round pick. But still, he's don't be 25 before the end of his rookie year. That's pretty old. It's not going to get a lot better than he already is at this point. You'd rather have him be younger. Ozzy Collier, former first round bust, the Seahawks. Like, it's a good thing you have him all the way down the depth chart. Like, you definitely don't want him starting or bringing your backup unless you absolutely have to. Like, between him and Thomas, you'd rather have Thomas be your backup just because he has some development time. He can develop. Collier, he's a bust for a reason. He's not that good. He's never don't be worth the first round pick he was back in the 2019, I think he was drafted. Balen Nichols, he's a good defensive tackle. Him and Justin, I feel like if you had Nichols and Justin Jones as your 2 and 3 defensive tackles and had somebody else as your number 1 defensive tackle, that'd be awesome. I feel like they're more 2s and 3s, if that. But having one of them as your number 1, not so good. Problem is you don't really have much. Don't really have any high draft picks or defensive tackle behind them. So yeah, they can't really do animation. They can replace them. Got Chris Tonga and Roy Lopez. They're good backups. Hopefully Nichols and Jones don't get injured, because if they do, you're screwed because you don't want either Tonga or Lopez starting if you can. For a while. So, yeah. Then Naquan Jones, Ben Stilley, you rather not have them be anywhere near your roster. They're depth guys for a reason. Like, if you can get them on the practice squad, because the practice squads are weird. Like, you can be really old at this point being in the practice squad, so rather than be there at all, just because it's nice to have depth, especially when you're not that good at defensive tackle. So, yeah. Phil Hoskins, Miles Murphy, probably practice squad guys, if probably most likely are not making the roster this year because, yeah. Dante Stills and, like, I feel like Stills might start at the start of the year just so you can give Robinson some more time to develop. But you definitely don't want Still starting for a while. Like you definitely want your first round pick from this past year, Robinson, starting as soon as possible because Stills is not that good. Robinson can be really good. There's a reason he was first round pick. Came out of nowhere. A lot of people near the end of the coming to host the draft thought he was going to be first round pick. Ended up being one. So hopefully he's no starter. Cam Thomas, mid round pick. He's all right. Not good. Not great. Then BJ Olari, he's done for the year. He just tore his ACL. I think they just announced today or yesterday. So he's done for the year. That sucks. You'd rather have him starting because you already don't have much depth on your defense in general. So it definitely doesn't help when you lose one. Just leave one of your better ones. But it's insane much, but still. Linebacker. Well, you got Mac Wilson Sr. He's okay. He's our right starter. Like, you'd rather not have him starting, but if you need to, he can. But still, like, as his backup, you got Owen Popo and Tyreek Smith, two recent draft picks. Like, if those guys can outplay him and become their starters, that's awesome because they're young. Mac Wilson, he's not so young anymore. You'd rather not have him starting because he's probably not going to get much better. He can. You never know. Some guys have late breakouts, but it's very unlikely. You'd rather Popo or Tyreek Smith starting. Trevor Nowaski, he's not going to make the roster. Like, he's not, because, yeah. And then middle linebacker, Kazir White. He's a good starter. He's had two good seasons. Alright seasons. Like, we're fine with him starting. Behind him, we got Chris Barnes. He's a decent starter. You'd have him as your backup / number 2 middle linebacker when you have. That's great because then you don't have to have him starting if you don't need to. And then Tariq Maddox Williams, he might make this roster just because they might want a third one at middle linebacker just for the extra depth, but just because they don't have anybody else really middle linebackers. All the other linebackers are outside ones, really, not middle linebackers. So you might make the roster just because of that. Then you got Dennis Gardick. He's only 30 in a week. He's a good starter. If you can get a replacement for him soon, that'd be great. Just because he's getting up there, he's only 30 before the season starts. You got Victor Dumujukuji. Probably didn't say that name right at all. He's a recent 6th round pick for a reason. He's for sure most likely make the roster, but he's probably not going to do much at this point. Like 6th round picks at this point in their career, like it's going to this 4th year, probably isn't going to get much better because I feel like most guys would have already kind of shown more time development. Marcus Bailey, Jesse Okuda, probably never making the roster. Lakita is probably practice squad guy. Bailey might be too, but probably I doubt either of them are making the roster. Cornerback, you got Sean Murphy-Bunting. He's a good starter. You rather have him as your number 2 than your number 1 corner, but you could get a lot worse. But still, it's not a great number 1 corner, especially when you don't have a good defensive line to help out your secondary by getting pressure. So So unless you blitz a lot, you're not there's the other teams guys, if they have a good offensive line, they're probably not the quarterback's probably not have a lot of time to get to the guy. Behind him, you got Elijah Jones, Joe Quark, developmental guys. You hope they don't have to play any meaningful snaps this year, but hopefully they get better soon. And yeah, you need to get help in the secondary. Like if you can sign, I doubt they're gonna do it because at this point, if like guys like Gilmore and Howard haven't signed anywhere, they probably are waiting for contenders. Which you never know. The Cardinals can make the playoffs because most likely don't have Kyler Murray all year, but they're not going to be contenders this year. Not with this roster. It's just not that good. And in your right corner, you got Max Melton. Another guy you'd rather have him further down the depth chart, but I think it's his 2nd year. Because I feel like he was drafted last year. So this is his rookie year. Sorry. I couldn't remember his rookie year. Former second round pick. He should be good this year, but I feel like you'd rather not have him starting already, just because, yeah, especially since the rest of your like you got your safeties Thompson and Baker, but outside of them, it's our like Baker's really is good safety, but Thompson's a decent safety, but they're not going to be able to help. Thompson's not going to be able to help the corners a lot, so. And nickel, if they go nickel, they got Garrett Williams. He's right another recent draft pick, so he probably will be starting. Yeah, and then Sterling Thomas and Devad Wilson and Jane Davis probably some of them are going to have to make the roster because they don't need that depth at corner. But another guys you hope you don't have to start anytime soon. Strong safety got Jalen Stockton. He's a good starter. He's you if you could if you could sign like a safety and then try to move one of those guys to corner, that'd be great. Just because you need help in that secondary because it's not good outside of Baker. They're decent guys, but it falls out quick. Baker's is a good safety. You're not going to find better replacement for him, so keep him. Obviously, got Andre Shahir and Dadron Taylor Demerson. Two guys are most likely to make the roster unless Joey Blunt and Verone McClendley come out of nowhere and just do really good at camp because you got nobody at depth and safety or secondary in general, really. You just got some developmental guys that were drafted recently, so you hope they develop a little bit and can be good, but still, it's not that great. So that's it for defense. Let's go special teams. You got Matt Prater at kicker. He's a good kicker. Kickers play forever, I feel like, so he'll probably still be playing, even though he's in his 30s at this point. Killican, he's a punter, so it's not a huge deal. So yeah. And then punter returner and kick returner, they got DJ Dallas. I feel like if he does make the roster, the only reason is returning because I doubt they're going to carry five running backs because they already got these four guys right here. So I feel like they wouldn't carry five. So he might go to the practice squad. So I feel like if they don't want it to keep him just because of his returning, I feel like Greg Burke should probably do both. Just because, yeah, and he's probably going to make the roster regardless because you don't have much depth at wide receiver. So you don't need to keep a roster spot just for a returner. Then long snapper, you got Aaron Brewer, who really cares, is a long snapper. So yeah. No, I'm Cardinals. Sorry, Right then, here we go. Let's talk about the schedule. They have a tough start. They're most likely starting 0-3. They're not being the Lions. Unless they're not being the Bills. I feel like of the first three games, the most winnable is the Rams, and even then they'll probably still lose because even that's not even that easy of a game. So yeah. Then they get Commanders. This should be a good one. They'll probably win it, but it's going to be a hard one. And then they got the Niners and Packers back to back. 2 more games. They're going to lose. They did not have an easy schedule. And then you got the Chargers. That'll probably be a win. Or it's going to be tough because it's only week 7, so it'll still be early in Harbaugh's tenure, so it's going to be learning. Then they got the Dolphins. It's still early on in the season, so they won't be in the end of the season where they have some troubles. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. So there must some loss. They got the Bears. I feel like it might be a winnable one because you never know what Caleb Williams is going to do. Rookie quarterbacks don't always do good. Not everybody's a rookie quarterback like CJ Stroud last year. Jets, a winnable one. Week 11 bye for to face the Seahawks. That's another winnable one, but I feel like they probably won't just because it's tough, especially in Seattle. Then you got the Vikings in Minnesota. Another one to most likely lose. again against Seattle. I feel like they'll probably win this one because it's at home. I feel like when you feel like it's a team 2 out of 3 weeks, you're most of the time you kind of split it. Just that's how it goes. Like because you just saw them. So I feel like they'll win one of this. They'll probably the next game at home because it's at home for them. And then got the Patriots and Panthers, 2 winnable games. And you got the Rams and Niners in that season. No, Niners, the Browns definitely losing. Rams, they might split the season series just because their Rams roster is getting old and they lost Aaron Donald. But they'll probably still be good. So, all right. Nice seeing you guys. Thanks for listening.